And then 20.
That's the total amount.
That's how much we've paid.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's the number
lot.
we're talking about. So that's the total.
That's the total. We made the most expensive decision ever.
I think we're worth it. Don't you think we're worth that?
Oh no, Justin, that's a lot of fucking money, dude. Dude, why do you keep drinking my water? Get your own water. Give me this. Hello, beautiful people. I'm Leah.
I'm Justin.
Welcome to our channel and thank you for joining us.
We make videos to share with you what our life is like since we decided to get up, get out, and get gone.
In today's video, we're going to talk about the process and the expenses to reunite during a pandemic. Be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell for more videos like this that will be coming your way.
I know many of you are curious where we are. In today's video, we have 3 clues to help you make your best guess. Yep, comment below where you think we are. If you need more clues, join us over on Instagram for Dose of the Daily. Obviously, there are costs associated with relocating to a new country, which we talked about in this video here. What we're going to focus on today are the additional steps that Leah and I each had to take to be able to relocate during the pandemic, and most importantly, the additional costs.
First, we had to find a country that would accept the both of us and give us a contract, making this entire process a very fast turnaround.
We were trying to get relocated before the school year started, but that didn't happen, mostly because of the continuous changes in our host country's travel policies and quarantine restrictions and all that messiness.
Plus, we had to make sure that we could arrive on the same day so that we were able to quarantine together to cut the costs, which we'll talk about in a moment because that in itself was not cheap.
We've made a chart with 3 categories. The normal cost, which is what we would have paid if we had flown in from the States without any pandemic pricing or restrictions. My costs coming from Vietnam, and then Leah's costs coming from America. FBI background check. Well, we had to expedite this process because there are no trusted locations in Vietnam to get fingerprinted. I had to make an appointment with the UN to get fingerprinted. Do you understand? Then my fingerprints had to be overnighted to the US and processed through a channeler there. And that cost was $65, and it wasn't even overnight. What about your process?
My entire process was done at one location. This is because I paid an expedited cost of $95. So everything was done in 15 minutes and I had my report before I was back in the parking lot.
We both had to get visas, but the visa costs are the same for us because we're going into our host country with the same resident visa.
Yep.
But my visa application, it required a medical exam because I'm coming from Vietnam. The exam consisted of blood work, urine work, vision test, hearing test, deworming, a whole plethora of tests. But luckily, because I was in Vietnam, they have socialized medicine, so my exam cost was very, very cheap.
I have no idea what this would have cost in the States, but I know it would not have been anywhere as cheap as Vietnam. I was only responsible for my COVID test. No, there were a lot of free places to get a COVID test. I still needed to pay the expedited cost for a 72-hour turnaround in order to be eligible to fly, and I imagine it's nowhere near the price that you paid. We both got one-way flights around $400, but let me make it clear, these are COVID prices. Yeah. The last time we flew out to this destination from Vietnam, we paid $300 round trip. And typically I can get a flight from the States to where we are now for $400 round trip.
The first thing each of us had to do when we landed was to get a SIM card, because this is what the CDC will use to track us during our quarantine. Unfortunately, it's not reusable. When quarantine's done, so is the SIM card. And for some reason, there was a different provider available at the airport when I landed than what Leah was offered, which is strange because we only landed a few hours from each other. So
I got a better deal.
She got a better deal for sure.
For transportation, if it wasn't because of the pandemic, we wouldn't have to pay for transportation because there would have been an airport pickup provided to us with our contracts. Instead, we were required to take quarantine transportation, which was relatively inexpensive considering that we had a 4.5-hour journey from the airport to our quarantine accommodation.
This chart just represents the fees associated with the procedural requirements for relocating to another country. What's not included is the little expenses that I don't think either of us recorded.
Like what?
You know, like the drive times to all the various locations and appointments, the cost of gas, or the hotel cost for me because I couldn't get out of our lease in time before I had to leave Vietnam.
That's true.
As you can see, this move was ridiculously much more expensive because of COVID-19.
For the both of us, $3,333.
Woosah, woosah. So who's the winner here?
Winner? Who's the winner? Well, there's no winner. We're broke as
Yeah, you know, love always wins.
Oh, God. Yeah. So, was this a lot of money for us to relocate? Yes. Was this the biggest impact that the pandemic has had on us to date? Fortunately, yes.
There are so many more people that were much more negatively affected than us. We get that. We're quite fortunate, in fact, to be living and working abroad because we're able to earn more and save more because we're outside of the US. Now, had we been living full-time in the United States, this would be a different video altogether.
Oh, for sure. So, did you see any of the clues that we've left in the video of where we ended up?
If you can't figure it out, tune in next Wednesday when we reveal where we actually are.
As always, we leave you with this question. When was the last time you did something for the first time?
Remember, it's never too late to get up, get out, and get gone.
We'll see you in the next video.
As Food Panda. Food Panda.